Nice.
Hello, gamers from around the world. This is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, and I would like to welcome to a very special Monday episode of the world of gaming. It's showcase season, and we told you that we are going to cover the entire showcase season with 4 shows here of the world of gaming. We had on Saturday the big prediction show. Of course, we covered yesterday the Xbox showcase. Today, we're gonna cover, of course, all the aftermath from the Xbox showcase and the Ubisoft forward event that just wrapped up. And tomorrow, we will discuss, of course, the Xbox extended showcase and the entire showcase season and week. And of course, we do that with Wandering Dutch, our wonderful co-host here. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Lots of brand new games. Awesome showings today as well. So
Indeed.
I'm looking forward to diving into it.
Indeed. Sweet. Yeah, man. So today I thought we do a classic world of gaming with the two of us. On all the other days, we have guests. Tomorrow, we will have Kea Sante and Luke Steele, our good friend and lawyer from the UK, who's not going to talk about ABK tomorrow, but about the exciting stuff. But today I thought, come on, in the middle, Ubisoft Forward. We knew it's not going to be the biggest thing in the world, although there were quite some pretty games in there. So we're going to talk about that, and we have the chance to, of course, digest the Xbox showcase the day after. Yeah, we slept on it. We had some time to read all the reactions and see the different opinions on socials from everyone. And of course, Phil Spencer and Matt Booty had a gigantic interview. So we definitely will talk about that because there were quite some interesting things in there. But first, Dutch, I need to welcome our amazing community. The chat is already filling up. Welcome to everyone in the chat. It's awesome to see you guys. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on not just the Ubisoft Forward that just aired, but of course, how are you feeling today about the entire Xbox showcase? We were hyping it up. We were super excited. I think they had a fantastic showing, but sometimes things stick with you or don't stick with you. And the day after and even a week after, we sometimes feel a little different about certain things. And so we definitely want to hear from you guys in the chat what you think. But of course, also a big welcome to everyone who listens after the fact here on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. I'm not going to shout out the one guy today, but welcome to this one guy too. So, Dutch. Before we dive into some of the Ubisoft games, how are you generally feeling about the Xbox showcase now that you had the chance to sleep on it, to digest it a little bit? I know you've been talking also to a lot of other people in the community. What is your impression? How do you feel the day after the big Xbox showcase?
Yeah, to be honest, it was a fantastic showcase. It was really well paced. A lot of brand new games, a lot of games we hoped to see that we got to see. A few things we'd like to see a little bit more in-depth gameplay for. But overall, I'm sticking around that 9 mark for me personally. I think they really did a great job. It was one of the best showcases they've put together for a number of years. Yeah, definitely. And
I do agree.
Having the chance to kind of listen to things like the Giant Bomb interview afterwards as well, and pay attention to what was said there, such as the Starfield 30 frames thing, which they mentioned. It's got nothing to do with the console. It's strictly a creative decision by Todd and Bethesda Game Studios to go 30. If they wanted to do 60 on the console, they had the choice to do so, but they opted against it. So that's a creative decision. So that's in their hands. I'm not one to shirk away Todd's creative ideas, so I'll be playing it the way he intended. As much as people want to play it on PC,
you mean
at 60,
on 60 on PC? That
you know Todd hates 60. You know he does.
Yeah,
Todd hates 60.
Todd hates 60, but he's gonna offer it on PC. So we will talk about this.
PC, I was going to say with PC you can't really restrict it anyway. I haven't known any PC to restrict games.
Imagine the shitstorm if you would limit frames on PC.
Yeah, exactly. But then to find out, of course, with the giant bomb thing as well, from Matt Booty saying, "Listen, if there wasn't something shown this one, don't worry."
Yeah,
like there's a lot of shows this year, including obviously, including Gamescom, TGS, the Game Awards, and another potential showcase that we are expecting to have. So that tells me that they're all planning to have a second showcase later on this year as well, which is good.
Yeah,
whether that's a direct again, like we got last time.
I assume so. Man, you're summarizing already the entire show, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in, but
it is. That's the thing. That's the thing after these showcases.
I was still working, so yeah.
True.
A lot of people went to bed. I was still diving in, finding out as much info as I could, finding out about games that looked great, like the Midnight game.
Yeah.
And getting a little bit more info on that and finding out what kind of game it is, what we can expect, and there's a lot of awesome things to come from it. And what's your thoughts then? I'm rambling.
Yeah, man. I woke up super tired this morning. My kids woke me at 6:30. Yeah, I went to bed at 1 a.m. after finishing up our reaction show yesterday. It was already past midnight. Then I uploaded everything to Spotify and Apple Podcast, and by the time I got to bed, it was about 1 a.m. and 6:30. My kids decided, okay, Daddy, the night is over, and I love them for that. So I woke up like, felt like a train hit me, and then I sat down with a coffee in my hand and was just scrolling through Twitter. I've seen your last DM to me was at 5:30 or something, or 5:20 a.m. I was like, okay, that was like an hour ago, and he was still up, dude.
I was working.
You were, that's the thing. So then I sat down and I thought about it, and I thought maybe we discussed it yesterday in length, the showcase, and I was like, I liked everything I've seen. I have really no real criticism. Minor things here and there, but not noteworthy. But why didn't I give it a 10 out of 10? I said it yesterday. It's because Xbox has no other game other than Starfield and Forza for this year. And that might have come off a little bit too negative, or more negative than I intended it to. I stand by it. Because Starfield and Forza were supposed to be last year, 2022 games, and them not having any other game for this year just shows me they had no plan for games this year. But still, if I think about this showcase in its own, it was incredible. I mean, look at what we got. We got Fable reveal. We know now what it looks like. We know the art style. Of course, we haven't seen continued gameplay. I didn't expect that. But I thought they might show Fable, with some cinematic overflies of Albion and one of the main cities, and maybe the forest, and then show a flying chicken, and that's it. But for them to actually show characters of the game, we know now the main protagonist, we know the art style, we know what to expect from this game. I love it. They started with that. We got then the reveal of the Compulsion game. I'm gonna have to bring up my notes. South of Midnight, exactly. I was blanking on the name here. So then we had Hellblade, we had Avowed, we had Clockwork Revolution was fantastic. We had a new flight simulator coming on. From a first-party perspective, seriously, what more do you want? Forza, of course. We had Forza, yeah. Seriously, from a first-party perspective, we had massive bangers. We got updates on those bangers. Those games looked all fantastic. There was not one first-party game where I was like, I don't know. No, they all nailed it. And then Starfield came out, and we knew that Starfield is gonna look good. Yeah, and it's gonna be an awesome game. But it blew me away. I'm a gigantic Bethesda fan. I have been ever since the early days. Seriously, Elder Scrolls 2 was my first one. Yeah. Morrowind, an insane, incredible experience. Oblivion, I loved it. Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and of course Skyrim. Skyrim, one of the best games ever made. Top 3 in my opinion. So I was super excited already. Yeah, they didn't have to sell me on the game, but what they have shown from Starfield, it just looked, I don't know, on another level. It was really like, okay, this is next gen. And not just from a technical standpoint, but really from a gameplay perspective. And that's what I love to see, that they try to elevate what is open world, what is interactivity, what is freedom of choice, of your choices in a game. It blew me away, seriously. And it takes a little bit to really knock my socks off, but they achieved that with Starfield, and I did not expect it. I knew it was going to be good, but this good, really? It's so in its own. The showcase was really, really fantastic in my opinion, and I stand by the fact that I'm still a little disappointed because the thing about Xbox is consistency. When Xbox has delivered games, they almost always delivered, in my opinion. Yeah. So look at, I liked Halo Infinite. I know it got a lot of flack for the games as a service treatment, but I play Halo not just for the multiplayer, and the multiplayer was fun. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but the campaign, I liked that. I liked the campaign. It was Forza Horizon 5 was great. When they bring Age of Empires 4, I know not on console, but on PC, still a Microsoft game. When they bring out games, they nail it. And the problem is that they are not consistent with it. And that's, of course, the thing with this showcase. Hellblade 24, Fable No Date, Avowed is 24. And we know that one of those games is going to get delayed anyway. So is it really the case that after Starfield and Forza, we are going to have to wait another 9 to 10 months before the next major release? I know Phil and Matt Booty also said it in the Giant Bomb interview. No, we are on track for this, regular cadence. But since they have been lacking of consistency and they have not given us dates, it's hard for me to give them the benefit of the doubt. So as much as I'm excited for the games, I wonder when I will be able to play them. Yeah. So and I think this is the one thing that really is my why it's not a 10 out of 10 but a 9 out of 10. But again, the games they've shown, amazing. And outside of the first party as well, what did you think about all the third parties? There were so many third parties in there.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on one second. And let me catch up before the supers go.
Yeah.
I need to shout out Tom from Toonami, who became a channel member even before the show started. Welcome in the club of our channel supporters. Thank you so much, man. And then we have Sith Lord sending in a $5 super chat and says, I'm glad Xbox didn't show their entire hand if they have new videos at other events. It will be a nice surprise and we will see less of the same thing. I totally agree with you, man. I know a lot of people are disappointed that there was no Gears. Others were disappointed that we didn't see Indie or Wolfenstein or the It game or ZeniMax Online, whatnot. Yes, you can look at it this way, but look at what you got. You got 6-7 AAA bangers. Avowed, Hellblade, Fable, Starfield, Forza, all in one freaking show. That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's the thing about Xbox. With 23 studios, they have so much to show. And there are other shows that you already teased it. We're going to dive into that a little later. But yeah.
Yeah.
So what about you, man? Third parties, how did they stuck with you?
Oh, well, come on. We got the original unveiling of Star Wars Outlaws, which today we got to see, and that is a big get if that's full marketing.
Hang on, I'm switching the gameplay. Maybe we let's dive into that and use that as a segue.
I dropped the link in the private chat for the 4K one.
Thank you. Then we're gonna use the 4K.
God, that game looks good.
Okay. I have to multitasking here, so I think it should be on now, the 4K version. I have to actually set it to 4K. There we go. So that we can show our friends here really. Oh, I'm gonna do 1440 because we stream in 4040 actually. So save some bandwidth, but should look good now. Yeah, man. Please continue.
Yeah, and to be honest, they only got the third-party deals that made sense. They didn't make third-party deals that were kind of underwhelming. They got some awesome little Game Pass titles in there. They got some brilliant, again, not for us, and we have to stipulate that. Me and Boxy aren't big Japanese anime titles or Personas or anything like that. So these games weren't for us. But from a marketing perspective, you've got to imagine Xbox are trying to grow their footprint worldwide. So the third-party deals with Sega Atlas to get all them games on Game Pass, to get brand new reveals by Sega Atlas for a brand new IP. A game that looked like Shinobi to us for quite a while until they changed it and unveiled another new title there. That's going out. Yeah, that's the one. That went going straight into Game Pass as well there for a brand new IP.
Path of the Goddess, yes.
Yep, that's the one. So, yeah, third party, I think they were absolutely on fire. The Star Wars thing was strictly for us. Yeah. The Japanese anime titles that were for a different crowd entirely. But that's the good thing about this show is it literally had something for everybody there to enjoy, from sim games, whether that be city builders, to a brand new flight sim, which again needed stipulated. That wasn't an add-on. It wasn't an update. Yeah. It's a brand new flight sim coming out next year. To again, new IPs from In Exile and Compulsion. So, and then we got, again, for us, the big Star Wars kind of add-on there as well. So I think they did a great job on the third parties. Overall, it was something for the Western audience, something for the Eastern and Asian audiences. So, yeah, they did a great job, really.
I do agree there. So let's use that as a segue to the Ubisoft thing that just aired. Star Wars, they finished the show. We start from the back here now. We just jump in between the things. It's with Ubisoft. See, I know the Ubisoft event was absolutely not like the Xbox showcase, and of course, everyone who went after the Xbox showcase has it hard, but that's a showcase from one publisher, These are not a platform holder who has their dozens of first-party studios and second-party deals and the third-party games in there. There's one publisher, and there was, of course, gonna be, the Just Dances, and there was, of course, gonna be the mobile games. But they have shown 4 games that I thought looked really good. The best, of course, here right on screen right now, being Star Wars. But I thought also that Avatar looked really good. The Snowdrop engine is just a beast, And then Assassin's Creed Mirage. I cannot wait for that. I simply get OG Assassin's Creed vibes, and that's what they are going for, and it looks really good. And I like what I've seen from Prince of Persia too. Vastly different Ubisoft game. No open world. It's a 2D side scroller, but they can make some great side scrollers, man. Remember Rayman Legends? That was fantastic. Yeah. So, and Prince of Persia really looks like a fun, he said semi-open world Metroidvania kind of game. 2D looked really fun. They definitely put it on my radar. So yeah, not the best showcase by any stretch of the means, no doubt, but not the worst either for a third-party publisher. Yeah, we have to put that in context. When EA, when Ubisoft, when those publishers do their own showcases, we cannot expect the same thing like from an Xbox showcase or PlayStation showcase. Yeah. But for a Ubisoft showcase, having a fantastic looking Avatar in Star Wars and a really good looking Assassin's Creed Mirage and a interesting Prince of Persia, I thought it was an okay show. What about you, man?
Yeah, it was an okay show. I kind of will get the ratings and things later on, but no, it was okay. Again, we never, and we shouldn't say it, but we never go into Ubisoft thinking it's going to be an absolute amazing thing every time, because there's going to be your mobile games, there's going to be your dance games, there's going to be guitar games.
Dude, did you know that Just Dance is Olympic?
Yeah.
I had no idea before this show.
I don't understand. But everything's an Olympic sport these days. God, you can have an Olympic breathing competition if you want to. They just add anything in now, so I don't put it past them. Yeah, I mean, the games that we were there for, I think showed well. Avatar's got still, I think, a little bit of polish to go on some of the facial animations and things like that, but overall the world looks fantastic. The Snowdrop engine is carrying that for sure. I'm intrigued to see how the world plays out and learn a little bit more about Avatar as we come to kind of play that game a little bit later on. I think it's this year, I don't know.
No, they said this year, December 7th.
That's the one. 7th December, that's the one.
December 7th, yeah. And I have to say, honestly, I like that date. It's a great date for these open world games because, you might not be on the Keighley show, but who gives a damn? The truth of the matter is that the hardcore gamers, us, we have finished already in the middle of December the holiday season games, usually, So, yes, we will still be playing Starfield. Of course, we will be playing that for the next decade. Yeah, we'll be playing that on the next Xbox as well. But I like that date. It's right before Christmas. You drop a massive open world game. The movie is going to hit theaters. And then we all have a few days off work, gaming time. And to have a beautiful looking open world game, it sounds really good to me. And I liked what I've seen. James Cameron and his team were involved to some degree, at least. Yeah, we don't know if that's more marketing or not, but he was on screen saying,
I think it's more to do with the world, the lore. I think everything to do with that is because obviously it's built by James Cameron start to finish. So he wants to get involved. I think he's getting involved with the lore, the world, the characters, the creatures that he's put in the story. And of course, when people don't realize, of course, the more recent Avatar is the second in what is a trilogy. So, of course, it's meant to kind of go as a side story, but the lore's already there in the books. All the creatures and everything like that are already there. So he's kind of doing his best to translate everything from the films, including upcoming films, into this as an IP as well. So
hang on, I'm gonna switch to I have the Ubisoft forward right
4K.
Here. I don't know if it's 4K just yet, but if it looks weird.
I've dropped you a link to the Assassin's Creed in 4K as well, by the way.
And Avatar? Do I have
not Avatar yet? They haven't uploaded that yet.
Okay, so we are not gonna. There you go. See, that's when I learned here Olympic esport Just Dance. I'm trying to skip you guys through the boring part, but while we talk about Avatar, let's have a look here, at least on the footage. Of course, without sound, I don't want to get demonetized, but or copyright strike. But yeah, man, it's first person, and they've shown that there is also some parkour in it, and we had some really good first person parkour games over the last years. Last year, Dying Light 2, great first person parkour game. And I could see that working really well in that world where you like transition in between you running through forests, climbing mountains, whatnot, jumping on your, what's it called? The flying dragon thingy. And then fly through that world. I don't mind that it's first person. People always complain when Ubisoft does something different. This time they complain it's not third person. I like it. If you want third person Ubisoft games, we've got plenty of those. So I actually really like what I've seen. Look colorful, look good. What about you? You interested in this one?
Yeah, Avatar was one of the games I was looking forward to see. It needs a little bit of work, but the world, the exploration is what it's about. I'm looking forward to jumping on the back of a Banshee and flying around and exploring the vast kind of.
All right.
The only thing I think it would work much better in third person than it would first.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only gripe with it. Only gripe, but it's one that I'm looking forward to. It's one that I'm definitely going to be playing. So, and as we mentioned, 7th of December, it's a nice holiday drop there, so you can play that during the holidays. So
yeah, true. So, guys, I put a poll in the chat. What did you think about Avatar? Are you interested in it? Let us know. We wanna know your thoughts as well. So James Cameron said on stage or in the presentation that the story coexists along the films. So that's interesting. Yeah. And Ubisoft is really going for some, big pop culture IPs here. Avatar is massive, obviously. Star Wars, yeah. This is quite interesting to see. So we're gonna let the poll run in the chat for a bit. So before we close it, but yeah, definitely want to hear your thoughts as well, guys. So hit yes, no, or maybe. What else can we say about Avatar? I think that's pretty much it, right? It was captured on PS5.
It was, yeah.
So you think they have the marketing rights for it?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I think they did the original unveiling of it as well.
Yeah.
If they get Avatar and we get Outlaws, that's a good trade-off, I think.
Yeah. That's a fair trade.
Judging by the show, and we'll get into Outlaws.
I'd rather take Star Wars, obviously, but again. And they've shown Phil, by the way, multiple times during the showcase, sitting here in the audience. Yeah. So, all right, let's see what does our community think. We just ran a short poll here. You guys interested in Avatar? I asked. So gonna close the poll for now. And 45% said yes, 40% said no, and 13% said maybe at a sale. So okay, fair. Then Prince of Persia. We're not gonna discuss, the what was it, X-Defiant, where the influencers played the shooters and stuff like that. We're just Captain Laserhawk TV series. Who cares about that? The mobile games, Skull and Bones. Nobody cares about Skull and Bones. They should just can that game.
Yep. Having played it, I can confidently say that should have been canned. And when you get the unfortunate chance of having to play that, and anybody with the inkling of wanting to try that game out, definitely sign up for the closed beta, and you'll understand why I said it needs canned.
Indeed. I know you were not able to share your footage and stuff.
I wish I was, because you understand.
But you show. I remember you playing that game, and you said, "Dude, I have to show you something." Is it just me, or is this really bad? And I've seen about what you showed me was an hour or so of an hour of stupid, really mindless gameplay. Fetch quest after, you gotta catch this barrel on sea, okay. And then you gotta catch another barrel on.
Go and collect some wood, go and collect some nails, go and collect this, go and get some iron, go and do this, get some fish for this guy because he's hungry and he'll give you a map.
Yeah.
Go and do this. I'm like, oh my god.
And we
were
just
an hour in, I'm still sitting on a bit of wood on the water. It's not a boat. It's just a little tiny raft.
And I remember us watching your hour, and we were basically making fun for an hour about this game. So it's really bad, absolutely. So that was in there. Prince of Persia. What did you think, real quick?
Yeah, that's I'm liking it. It looks fun. It looks like a great fun platformer with some cool abilities. The only thing that I hope for this game to stand a chance is that they don't price themselves out.
Yeah.
It needs to be a relatively cheap game. And I'm saying 20 or less.
Yeah. Do we know the price? No, we don't know the price just yet. But
it's pre-order now, actually, so I might be able to tell you. 2 seconds.
Okay, no problem.
What was it called again? Prince of Persia?
Prince of Persia. I didn't write the full thing down. Good question. If someone in chat knows, let us know. But I agree. No way that game is a full price title.
Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown. Yeah. No way that this game is a full price title. But for $20 or so, I could see myself getting that. It looked like a good platforming Metroidvania kind of game, and I like those. I like the Oris and the Hollow Knights and the Metroids, of course. Thanos also says Lost Ground. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
So.
Okay, there we go.
Oh no! Oh, they've priced themselves out.
Okay, tell us.
50.
Oof, that's no, that's not a 50. If you're really confident with that game, and you got something, you got a Hollow Knight on your hand, then you price it at 30 max.
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
Well, I'm not playing that then. There's no way I'm paying 50 for that.
Nah. 50 way too much for Prince of Persia. What are they thinking over there? Sometimes Ubisoft, you don't understand. So wait for Deep Sail and then play it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Well, if you have UB Plus, then you get it, of course, part of that. But
you have Ubisoft Plus?
I don't know. It's not something I'd sign up for either. I don't get enough Ubisoft games to do it, and the ones that I want, like Outlaws, I'm going to buy.
Yeah,
buy it.
I think for a single publisher subscription service, it's way too expensive because as much as Game Pass, and if it was half of the price, I probably would get it because usually I get 2 look at this here. I'm gonna get Avatar. I'm gonna get Assassin's Creed Mirage. So if it is only a little bit, but not for that price. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So okay, what else did we get? The Crew Motorfest. I know people want to watch the Avatar footage, but let me see if I can quickly find the Crew Motorfest. Okay, first of all, this guy is like the worst presenter that I've seen in a long time. He was trying to be funny and self-confident, but he came off, I don't know. I don't know the guy, so nothing against him personally, but he didn't come off as a genuine nice guy. So I don't know. And then it was so weird. We were like, when we were watching it on your channel, Dutch, we were like, okay, are they serious? Are they only showing the footage and screenshots and stuff on the screen behind this guy? Like this, we can't really judge how the game actually looks, and only at the very, very end of the show, of the weird ass presentation of this guy, they made the trailers full size. So, and then, like Store in Sender in the chat says, it is a Forza Horizon ripoff. I have rarely seen a game copy so obviously from another one. Like all the set pieces, even the cover art looks like Forza Horizon. Let me skip a little further. What did you think, man? Here we see the cover right now in the background of this guy. Like hard rip off of Forza Horizon.
Yeah. It's identical ideas. It's identical ideas, and it did. The way that they presented it was pretty shady. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. And they kind of it was constantly like gameplay going on behind them, but you couldn't actually see the gameplay. And then when they put the gameplay on, it didn't look anything like what they'd been trying to show. And every trailer that they put on was all this. It was in engine, but it wasn't representative at all of what the gameplay was when it came on screen. It was really, really shadily done. I don't trust it.
I agree. All the set pieces. Look at this trailer right now. Yeah, it looks like a worse looking Forza Horizon. It's not even on par with Forza, like from a graphic standpoint. It's, I don't know. Yeah, you have the mountain, you have the lush forest. It's just a ripoff. So Ubisoft, that's not how you do it.
Nope.
Then we had a couple of Assassin's Creed games. Yeah, we had an Assassin's Creed VR game, which was so weird. I'm trying to skip again because they have shown for that thing footage, but they said it's all pre-rendered and not actual in-game footage, but they made it look like it's VR. I think this is the worst. So they made CGI trailers that look like gameplay but isn't gameplay. This is the worst thing you can do to present a game, honestly. I don't mind CGI trailers for a game reveal, but when we got, I don't know, the Fable CGI 3 years ago, we knew this is CGI. This isn't trying to fake gameplay as CGI. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a naff show, and I mean, even the title of the trailer they've got on their channel says Assassin's Creed Nexus CGI announced trailer. So it was complete like falsifying what people are going to be playing in VR. It wasn't. Again, it was a shady showing of what that game is going to be, and I don't understand why they presented it that way.
Yeah, me neither. If anyone in the chat has an idea why they would do that, let us know. It's beyond us. Then they have. I'm skipping again a little forward here in the footage. They have shown this also with the CGI, and then a little later we found out it is Assassin's Creed Jade, which is a mobile free-to-play Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But no one wants to talk about that. So then they showed the thing I did like. I really did like. And that is Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm going to put up a poll again in the chat because we want to hear from you guys as well. What did you think about Assassin's Creed Mirage? Let us know, Dutch, what did you think of Assassin's Creed Mirage? They started with a story trailer and then in-depth gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah, look, Mirage looks great. Mirage looks great. I love the new abilities in there as well. On the in-depth gameplay, it looked that one ability where you can kind of tag a few people and it puts the shadow behind them of what your guy is, and he goes one by one and takes them all out in in an order. So you can kind of plan your attack without kind of doing one and alerting all of them. You can take out 3 before people know that you're there. So that was a cool little idea there. Of course, having to take out archers so that they don't kill your bird or fire at your bird is another cool kind of addition to it. But overall, it would look like a really great, more condensed Assassin's Creed experience.
Yeah,
I've already got it pre-ordered, so that tells you everything.
I'm not sure if I have pre-ordered it. If not, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
It looks like exactly the Assassin's Creed game I want to play right this year.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of what they have done with the franchise, with the RPGs, starting with Origins. Odyssey is, in my opinion, the best Assassin's Creed game in the entire series. Yeah, I also enjoyed Valhalla a lot. I like those open world RPG Assassin's Creed. I really do. But they are massive. They are absolutely massive. Odyssey took me, I would have to look it up, but 140, 150 hours with the DLCs. Valhalla is similar, a little less, maybe 110, 120 with the DLCs. I don't want to spend that much time in an Assassin's Creed game this year.
Yeah, exactly.
We already have played Hogwarts Legacy, which was, by the way, the perfect length for an open world game, like 30 to 40 hours. Yeah, I love that. Sweet spot, yeah. Diablo is gonna consume my life. Hundreds of hours are gonna be spent there.
Yeah.
And then seriously, I probably won't be able to play anything else besides Diablo until Starfield comes out. So, yeah, we have that, and then we have Starfield, obviously. Yeah. I'm also eyeballing Final Fantasy 16, but then Diablo addiction, so I'm gonna wait for sale on that one. And then we have Avatar in December. Yeah, I don't need an Assassin's Creed open world game this year. I like that they are going back to the roots. You know, condensed story, some action sequences in there. They've shown a couple of those, like chases through the city and things like that. They said, what did they say? 20 hours or so, right?
Yeah.
20-hour experience.
20 to 25 hours. Nothing
exactly
overblown.
Perfect. Sweet spot. Nice. Perfect. You can squeeze that in between a Diablo and Starfield and all the others. And Spider-Man is also going to come out. So 20 hours, perfect. Again, old school vibes. I love it. And it's not full price. It's 50 euros here. And I think, what was it? How many pounds? 45 pounds in the UK?
Yeah, 45 for the standard, 50 for the deluxe.
So here we have 50 euros. I think that's more than fair.
Price, that is priced the same as Prince of Persia. What is going on? Right.
That's a great point. I don't know what's going on, because let's be real.
Prince of Persia is not Assassin's Creed.
No, I agree. And now we see the gameplay. I mean, from a visual standpoint, the Assassin's Creed games have always looked awesome. But this looks like, really good. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's see what our gamers in the chat said. I'm gonna close the poll, guys. Let's wait another 30 seconds or so before I'm gonna close the poll, so get some last minute votes in there. But yeah, I like also, by the way, the setting. It's a perfect setting for Assassin's Creed, and I learned earlier when we watched the live stream with you that this is actually the guy, or that this was supposed to be a DLC for Valhalla, and this is the guy. I can't remember his name, Basim. You're right. And I remember that's the guy who trains you in Valhalla. Yeah. So who trains Eivor in Valhalla? Yeah. And that is a nice touch. Like, they made some in the story trailer. They made some references to Assassin's Creed Origins, which is also awesome. So yeah. All right, let's close the poll and see what our gamers here in the chat think about Assassin's Creed Mirage. 33% said looked cool. 33% said it looked okay-ish. 18% say they rather have pineapple on pizza. Come on, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Ban them all.
Right, and 40% said not for me.
I think that's just Vin on soccer counts, isn't it? That's just Vin on soccer counts.
It must be. It must be Vin with his 500 pineapple loving accounts. I don't know. All right, and then of course they finished with a bang, and what a bang! Honestly, Star Wars Outlaws. We have seen a really good looking CGI. Sorry, I was looking for the word CGI trailer yesterday during the Xbox showcase. Fast pace, it plays right after Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, so going back to the old days like that. And today they've shown first gameplay. They said early footage, and we know we have to be careful with Ubisoft games. They've done it before, and the final product probably not gonna look exactly like they've shown it off today. Ubisoft with their downgrades, but man, does it look good. Even if it gets a little visual downgrade, it really does look good. I'm gonna switch to the footage. What did you think? And I'm gonna put up a poll again. Here for our gamers in the chat. What did you think?
Absolutely fantastic. That's how you show off a game. In gameplay, a nice gameplay demo in game. It's clearly stating it's a work in progress, so it could look better. It could refine a little bit, but it did a very good job of showing off how the gameplay works for combat, how a few of the little mechanics work with what is obviously going to be a high-selling mascot kind of thing that people are going to buy plushies for and stuff like that. Like, people are going to love that mascot, a bit like they did BD1 in Jedi. So, no, the gameplay looks fantastic. The scenery and the ambience of the game and the atmosphere of the game are absolutely on point. It looks like it's a really interesting story. I love the UI and UX designs where you accept a mission and it's kind of got that Han Solo-esque kind of text that pops up in the middle, telling you you've completed the mission or you've accepted the mission. I like when you're getting chased by bounty hunters or the Empire, you get that wanted flash up on screen in the background. They've just nailed it. They've nailed the feel and the look of that game and the universe and the world. And to then seamlessly transition to flying your craft into the atmosphere and then straight into space, controllable, looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. It's amazing job so far. Absolutely sold on that game already, and I really want to see more. It looked really impressive.
I do agree. they started out with this like stealth section that you can see here, and then the way how she transitions over into the open world, gets on the glider, gets into the city, interacts there. It looks phenomenal. Visually very, very, very good. Like all the little things are in there, like little animations when she crouches, when she ducks away, when she shoots. It looked really good on a technical level, as you expect from those kind of Ubisoft games. But comparing that to Avatar, and I know Avatar's gonna come first this year. This is a next year game. They said still confirmed 24. It's what they want, which is cool. It's not that far away. So we are not talking about a game that is going to come out in years. It's not like we have this. What's the game with the ape and the woman?
Yeah, that's disappeared.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yeah, it's not a Beyond Good and Evil 2 situation here. We've seen actual continued gameplay here, which is always good if a developer is confident enough to show that. I like the idea of the story. I just hope that the missions are not too fetch questy and whatnot. But they also confirmed you can travel to different planets and moons. Yeah, so I expect this game to be massive, like the studio name suggests, but no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, I really, really liked what I've seen. I was genuinely surprised by that. I was surprised yesterday when it was in the Xbox showcase, because Xbox doesn't do these kind of deals, and especially not with pop culture IPs. We've been saying this for years, Dutch, that Xbox should get into the Star Wars, or the superhero games, and now it's not exclusive to Xbox, but they got the marketing. And when you look at how they market Diablo right now, they do that really well. Diablo, seriously, it's best marketing campaign I've seen from Xbox, period. Like, Xbox does not market themselves in Germany at all whatsoever. I've never seen an Xbox ad in any way. But Diablo, and I know it's Blizzard, but it's everywhere. And every billboard I've seen in the TV ads, everywhere it says Xbox. You see Xbox suddenly everywhere. I love that. If they do the same thing with this one here, this is gonna be massive for them, because it's not just Star Wars, but it is really good looking Star Wars game. This can be big for Xbox if they play the cards right. Who said it in the chat? I lost it. Carolina Gamer said it's in Game Pass. I don't think so.
It's on Ubisoft Plus. It's on Ubisoft Plus. It's not in Game Pass.
It's not in Game Pass. I thought so yesterday as well.
Xbox have marketing on the game.
Yeah.
But they don't have it on Game Pass. No.
Yeah.
That's too big of a title, that one. You would hope they would, but again, they would have to pay mega money to get that in Game Pass.
That would be an expensive one, but I don't know if it would be worth it.
Might be worth it.
Might be worth it, because these are the kind of games that sell systems or subscriptions. Yeah. So I don't know. It might be worth it. But yeah, it really looked good. Interesting character, main protagonist as well. I like the vibes I got. So
yeah.
Good stuff there. So where are we in the chat? I'm gonna leave the poll up for another 30 seconds or so before we close it. But anything you want to add to Star Wars? Yes, I can't get Starfield out of my head, man.
No, Star Wars looks absolutely tremendous, and you know what it is. I'm so glad after the success of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor that Ubisoft Massive are creating this awesome open world Star Wars Outlaws universe that's a single player game.
Yeah,
it's a fully single player enjoyable universe, and again it stacks up. It absolutely stacks up against Jedi Survivor on the graphical department so far. So it looks fantastic. I can't wait for another difference in the Star Wars universe that's done well, and this looks to be done well so far.
Exactly. And I mean, we haven't had a Star Wars game from any other publisher than EA in more than a decade now, because EA had the exclusive Star Wars rights for 10 years. And as good as the Jedi Survivor games were, those were basically the ones that stood out. They had the two Battlefront games, and they had the Rogue Squadron games, and that's all that they did with the exclusive Star Wars license, in 10 years. So, it's it's time that someone else takes a shot at Star Wars, and for Xbox to have the marketing rights for this one, really, it's a big get. And who knows, maybe they will strike up a deal for Game Pass. I would love it. Most certainly would save me $70. So I'm gonna close the poll, and now the poll is gone. Doesn't appear in my chat. Do you see it?
Yes, I see it.
So now we've got back here.
69% say fantastic.
Yes.
20% say okayish. Still prefer pineapple on pizza. 6%. That's definitely Vin. That's definitely Vin.
Absolutely.
Vin. Time out. Enough. 3% say not for me. So it's not too much. Everybody else, about 89% say it's okayish or fantastic.
Yeah.
So it hit well.
Absolutely. So look good. People are excited for it. I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that. It also had dogfighting, right? You know. How cool is that? Yeah, not just on planets, on foot or something, but really you get into space. This game looks really, really good. So, but with that, Dutch, let's transition over to the Xbox show. Case, we started our discussions, and we had the big Phil Spencer and Matt Booty interview today.
We did. There was a lot. I'm going to open up my chat as well, because I dropped a lot of those things in your in your DMs.
Indeed, I was like this morning, like super tired. Only slept 5 hours. Was sitting there having my coffee, and it was like, Chase, what is he sending me at 5:30 a.m.? And like my inbox was full with DMs, but I love it. So I got up to speed, but then I listened to the entire thing.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of quote a few of the key things that I pointed out, first of all, to you, just to run through the ones that I've kind of pointed out. First of all, Matt Booty, one of the first things he was speaking about was we aren't asking our teams to make things just to show. So in terms of the footage that was out there, said we are asking what they have ready from their games as it stands. So we're not asking them to make specialized trailers just for the show. We're asking them to use parts of their in-game or stuff that's in the game already and make that a trailer, as opposed to making dedicated things that aren't part of the game. So that's an awesome point straight away. So everything that you see from them is already either assets or things that are being used in the game as it stands, whilst they're in production. They're not going out of their way to create brand new assets just to make a trailer. So that's awesome news. Phil Spencer on the Fable gameplay when confronted with the hosts, both Grubb and his co-host, saying that it wasn't gameplay. He, with a little weird, confused look on his face, said, "Why didn't you think that's gameplay?"
As if to say like that. But I mean, we had a discussion about this too. I fully believe that this game is going to look just like they have shown it here.
Yeah.
But when we say gameplay, you expect something different. There were like these 1 second shots in there. I mean, you see the trailer right there when she like throws the fireball. Yeah, okay, that's gameplay, but that's like 1 second of gameplay.
And she kicked the chicken. That's gameplay as well, by the way.
She kicked the chicken, yeah, but she did that off screen. So,
well, I think that was a transition into her. So I think, like, you know, when you do like coming out of a CGI moment, I think that's a transition into controlling your character, and you go from there.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of one of those moments.
I mean, again, it's all in engine, and I think that the cutscenes and gameplay will be seamless in that game.
Yeah.
So no visual downgrade or anything. Absolutely, the game will look like you see it here. But still, if you say gameplay, I expect a sequence where I see that someone interacts with the character. Like, okay, this is now controlled by a person, and we did not see that in this trailer. We did not see it in Hellblade either. That is one of the minor criticisms I have. I know Hellblade's gonna look fantastic, but I want to see how it looks when combat and or at least someone walking Senua along something, you know. But so Phil.
Next comment as well, because Phil just keeps going. He had some brilliant points mixed in with Matt Booty, but another one was Phil on Starfield at 30 frames. He said, "I've been playing the game since November. It isn't a platform issue; it's a creative decision from Bethesda Game Studios. Basically, if they wanted it to be 60, it would be at 60, but he's choosing to have it at 30."
Yeah, 30 FPS. Let me briefly elaborate to something that came up in the chat. I'm not criticizing Fable at all. I did not expect them to show continued gameplay. I did not expect that, and I'm not mad that they didn't show it. I would have loved to see it with a Hellblade, but then again, we will see gameplay tomorrow at the extended Xbox showcase for Hellblade. And I've said it in the beginning of the show. I think what they did with Fable was absolutely fantastic, more than I expected. I expected them to just show a couple of in-game like scenes, a flyover over a forest or a city or something, but that they really introduced the protagonists, that they introduced the entire art style and everything. I loved it. Really, it was more than so. This is not a criticism. I'm just saying I wouldn't call the Fable trailer gameplay.
Yeah, we'd love to see hands-on gameplay, and we'll get it in due course. Like you say,
sure,
it's a good chance we might see some more of it later on in the year. They haven't ruled anything like that out, so next one was Matt Booty.
Hang on, the 30 FPS. Let us talk about 30 FPS. Starfield. What do you think? 30 FPS.
For me, it doesn't bother me. Again, and I've mentioned this numerous times about single-player action adventure games where I'm not playing competitive. I'm not playing against other people. It's not a competition. That doesn't bother me. If I'm on a racing game, if I'm on a first-person shooter, if I'm on something that is me playing against other people, that game needs to be 60. When I'm talking about action adventure games, I'm always a fidelity guy. And this game was built around having the best fidelity and the most visual kind of set piece that it can be. And essentially the way Todd has reiterated is his intention to have it that 30 frames filmic. He said it does run over 30 most of the time, but he's locked it to 30. So it can exceed it, but he's chosen to make it an extremely stable 30 for the game itself, which is obviously good news. If you are playing at 30, it needs to be super stable and locked. But for me, no, Starfield at 30 makes no difference. A lot of people are going to play it on PC if they want that 60, and that's fine. But as a single-player action-adventure game, an RPG in that world, you go back to Skyrim originally on the 360. That game wasn't 60 frames. I had the best time ever on that game. Like, I loved it as it was, and it's not something that... And of course, it was full of bugs. Of course, it was full of bugs, but we all remember how good the stories were, how good the universe was, how good the combat was, how good this everything was that we interacted with, and we eventually got that 60 frames patch on the Xbox One X. But yeah, it does not faze me in the slightest that Starfield's at 30. Single player, open world action RPGs, where I don't have any competitive side to it. Yeah, I'm absolutely okay with 30. It's only in races, first person games that I must insist that those games are at 60. What about you?
I'm trying to put up a poll because I want to also know from the community. So hang on 1 second. There we go. Let us know your thoughts as well. 30 FPS in Starfield. Yeah, well, I kind of expected it because the way how Todd talked years ago about 30 and 60 FPS and so on, we kind of expected it. And them showing the game at 30 last year was very indicative of what to expect.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, because I said it in the beginning of the show, and again, I think Starfield surpassed my expectations. I knew it was gonna be an awesome game, but it was like everything about this game is fantastic. But not to have 60 FPS as an option, and I'm talking here as an option, is something I will never understand, because significantly weaker PCs will run the game at 60. Will it look that good? No, it won't. But give the gamers the option. I don't see the reason why, except them not having time after delaying the game for years and having support of the Xbox Technical Advanced group and everything. There's no reason not to do it, except them simply, like you said, or Phil said, artistic choice. But what is the artistic choice then on PC? They are not gonna lock it on PC. So this is what I don't understand. And I can't defend this in any way, shape, or form, because we talked about it earlier. I'm still thinking about the ROG Ally, and I might get it now, simply that I can play Starfield at 60 on this thing, while my Xbox Series X can't run this at 60. It's that's a little thing. Even if it's
everyone's got a preference, but
even if it's 1080p 60, do it.
That's a difference between PC and console. That's a difference between PC and console. Is on PC you can set to have everything ultra at 1080, so you can still have that fidelity, but you choose the resolution it outputs at, which dramatically reduces the overhead. So you can get 1080 60 with ultra settings and it still look good. But Xbox, you don't have the ability to change the resolution, so you can't say, I want that extra frames and I'm going to drop it from 4K to 60, but keep the fidelity, because that's essentially what you're doing on PC. You're keeping it exactly the same settings, you're just reducing the resolution, which is why you're getting the ability to have that 60. On console, everyone's flat out, so it's 4K 30 or 1440 30. That's it. You don't get a resolution choice. If in some way, and I hope they do in future, this goes for every dev, gives you the ability to choose it as 1080 upscaled to 4K, then I think or 1440 upscaled to 4K, and then be able to choose how the system itself uses that. I hope devs do that in the future, because they're all on x86. They can be ran as essentially PC ports on console, but they're choosing still at this section to do console ports of the game and a PC version separate. So
I agree.
But again, we both have choices. You'd rather be able to play it in 60. I'd rather I'm fine with it at 30. Doesn't bother me at all for a non-multiplayer game.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna not play it. I'm gonna play it on both PC and console. We have cross progression. That's the beauty about the Xbox ecosystem, right? You always have options. I will be playing this on PC at 60.
Yeah, you want to see those giant vistas on a big telly as well.
Yes. So I will be switching back and forth in between PC, in between console, and who knows, maybe in between the LI as well. But it's I still think an option would be cool. Let us see here. Joshua sends in a $5 super chat. First of all, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. He said, in an IGN interview, Todd alluded that even high-end PCs are going to have trouble running this game at 60.
I don't doubt. I
have no doubt. Many games have that issue if you max everything out. But if I look at the recommended specs, I have them right here. Hang on. So
requires an SSD.
Minimum.
It does require.
By the way, I love that. I love that PC is also finally ditching the classic hard drives and moves on to SSD, because we've been saying it for so long, dude, that the lowest common denominator right now is PC. It's the minimum specs on PC is what always holds stuff back. And seeing the ambition of a Starfield, I have absolutely no surprise. And no doubt that. Pardon me. It's now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, seeing this game, I have no doubt that an SSD makes absolute sense. But Joshua, to your point, yes, I've seen this statement from Todd. But again, it depends on the settings, and the minimum settings are a GeForce 1070.
It's going to look like trash on a 1070, though.
Absolutely, no doubt. And a AMD Ryzen 5 2600X is the minimum, and of course an SSD on the minimum, which is great. But and I bet that even there you probably, I don't know, even if you set everything to low, I don't know if the game will hit 60, but more than 30. And 40 is also, by the way, a great option, especially with all the VR screens out there. I don't see. I've played a couple of games now at actually 40 FPS. Hogwarts comes to mind, right? With that is a viable option to go for 40 FPS. But okay, then we have the recommended specs. And now it is interesting, because recommended specs is a AMD Ryzen 5 3600X with an GeForce RTX 2080. And now we're talking, and 16 gigs of RAM, by the way, and of course the SSD. But this is the ballpark of the Series X. The CPU is a little weaker. The Series X has a little better CPU than the recommended specs on PC. And the 2080, probably not exactly that, but I've always say the Series X is in the ballpark of a 2070 Ti, which is close to a 2080. So that's the recommended specs, and with that, you will find a setting where it runs at 60. So, it's a little bummer. It is a little bummer, but if a game looks that good, and I'm not just saying visually good, but like the mechanics, the gameplay, the ambition of the what an open world is. Now, this is not an open world. This is an open universe. Of course, we will still be playing it. We will still be enjoying it. And the good thing about us gamers is we get used to things really quickly. When you play for 3-4 hours at 30, you're just getting used to it. I played Gotham Knights at 30, and it sucked in the first couple of hours, but then you just get used to it and enjoy the game. And that's what we're gonna do with Starfield here, right?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Next one from Matt Booty.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He said, "Don't look too much into what wasn't shown."
But hang on.
Oh, yeah.
One thing before we move to Matt Booty, I want to close the poll because
yes, close it.
Yeah. All right. So, 65% said they are totally fine with 30 FPS. 22% said not good, and 12% have no opinion. Interesting.
That's fair enough.
Interesting.
So not bothered neither here nor there. They're not bothered.
Yeah.
Just fair.
Totally fair.
Okay.
By the way, I'm getting goosebumps right now seeing the Avowed trailer running here in parallel. What did you think of Avowed?
It looks fantastic. It just made me think Skyrim, but on steroids. That's what it made me think.
Way more colorful than I expected, honestly.
Oh, yeah, but that was Outer World color palette.
Yes, I love it.
I was just like, yeah.
I don't need them to copy Skyrim. I want to have Obsidian's take on Skyrim. And if that means colorful, lush, vibrant colors, go for it.
Go for it. Absolutely. Matt Booty, he said, don't look too much into what wasn't shown. We have other shows this year. Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, the Game Awards, and likely another show this year to show stuff off. So basically, for people asking, where's Contraband? Where's this? Where's that? So don't look too much into it. It's ideally what this was, is he mentioned it kind of a little bit more in depth. The show itself was something that was put together at the beginning of the year. So we're talking January. They had a good idea as to what was being shown off then. They finalized some of the things off closer to the date, but they had an idea in January what they were showing at the showcase this week. So basically, as it stands right now, they're already talking about what they're showing at Gamescom, what they're showing at TGS, what they're showing at the Game Awards, what they're showing at this other show, which is likely to be another Xbox Direct. So there is a lot of shows coming up and still a lot more announcements to have. And even on Tuesday, we've got more Avowed, we've got more Hellblade, and we've got more announcements from third parties and second parties.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot to see even tomorrow. Not even include the next 4 showcases for the remainder of this year. So Xbox are far and away done from unveiling things and showing off the progress of some of these games in the pipeline.
Which is cool, man. I mean, of course, they are working, and I think Phil also said it in that context, that they have more than 20 studios, 23 studios right now, working on stuff, on games.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, this showcase with Hellblade, with Avowed, with Fable, with Forza, with Starfield, it's massive. The Clockwork and South of Midnight. Like massive blowout of first-party games, and still we have only seen a third of what they have in their roster, right? So it's really cool. I like that he mentioned Gamescom, by the way.
Yeah, so do I. Of course I do. I'm loving that.
I'm loving that. We're going there, and it's gonna be awesome. And with E3 gone, I mean, I said this, I think, to you in the green room earlier, that Gamescom is now
the biggest
show in the world. And I would love developers or publishers to make bigger announcements at Gamescom. Historically, it made sense to make big announcements in June because you had to prepare marketing campaigns, you had to prepare, retail sales and everything for the holiday season. And to do that, you need to announce things early, because as soon as you send flyers or whatnot out to retailers, things will get leaked. So that's the reason why historically E3 was placed in June and not later in the year. But in this day and age, you can announce big things in August and still have the hype for the holiday season. So let's see if some noteworthy announcements will come out of Gamescom. But other than that, I expect a developer direct, like you said. I expect that in the end of the year. Do you think as well that we will get one in the...
Yeah. I think that's what he's alluding to with another show. I think it's going to be Dev Direct.
And it was really interesting how Phil cut him off a little. Because, okay, dude, don't tell too much. Like,
yeah. Keep something in my pocket. But to follow on from that, actually, and talking about what studios they still haven't shown and things, Phil was obviously excited when he was whispering this, because he looked at Grubb and he whispered it a few times, as if to say id Tech's working on something really cool, and he seems really hyped about that. So that was talking about studio roadmaps. They got into a conversation about the studio roadmaps and who's further on and where, and Phil seemed really excited about what id's working on. So as are we want to see what id's got working. He's obviously hyped about whatever he's seen there, to be able to whisper that particular studio out as well. Which was funny. And another one that I picked up on near the end there. They asked Phil Spencer about his Hexen t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. And he said, "What is that a game? Is that a game?" Like, but then refused to comment on it.
He's really ditching the answer. Yeah.
So we'll see. Can't say any more than that. But
it's true.
He avoided that one. He avoided that like the plague. Yeah.
I mean, it's a Blizzard IP. Yeah. So with ABK not finished yet, he really cannot. But I'm telling you, dude, that game is already in development.
And it kind of quickly to Thanos in chat as well. We mentioned this a second ago. No, the extended show tomorrow isn't Forza and Starfield. In fact, Forza and Starfield aren't part of that show at all. The show tomorrow includes a Avowed deep dive, includes a Hellblade deep dive, includes a Necrom deep dive, and new unveilings as well that we haven't seen yet. So no, Starfield and Forza aren't there. Forza's having a post-show after the extended that will have a deep dive on gameplay by itself after the extended showcase, but it's not part of the extended.
Exactly. And let me catch up with the super chat from Dave Ramos, who sends in $5. Thank you so much for the support, man. He says, limiting to 30 FPS cannot be both. A design decision, and B, not a limit on PC. Cannot be both. It's insincere to say so, right?
Yeah. It's not. He's not. I don't think he's going to limit it on PC. He's just his preferred way for people to play this game is at that 30. High fidelity 30 frames.
Yes.
Which is why he's keeping it high fidelity 30 on console. On PC, he doesn't have that. Of course, he could restrict it, but there'd be bloody hell on.
Yeah.
People would go wild if he restricted it on PC.
I don't know. Has any PC game ever restricted frames?
Yeah, Elden Ring's capped it at 60, and a few others have as well. Amblix put that in chat. So there could be that he has a hard cap on PC of 60, where he doesn't allow people to go over that because it messes the game up or it causes issues or crashes or something like that. But we'll see.
We shall indeed. Yeah, 30 FPS again. Let's see how it plays first. Yeah. So, but the game looks so good. So, okay, I can see. By the way, since the Hellblade trailer is running right now,
yes,
I know you're super excited. Tomorrow they confirmed.
I've watched all these things back on the big screen.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus,
this is another level.
Every time I see it.
This is another level.
Yeah.
Like
there was this wise as well.
Yes. Oh, the binaural audio was like a masterpiece of audio technology in the first one, but this time, even with all the YouTube compression and everything, it is, you can tell they took it to the next level, absolutely. And there was like this one scene, I think it's coming up in a second here on screen, where you could see a vein in her neck. It was like a little bit pulsing because you could feel like when she's breathing heavily. Dude, these kind of details.
And it's like the scars on her neck here as well, and the vein, and it was everything.
Like this is insane. What they do. So, do you expect tomorrow's gameplay to be another more like a cinematic in-game sequence, or do we actually see, hands-on gameplay combat?
Question.
What do you expect for tomorrow?
The big question. I hope to see actual physical combat or walking in a bigger environment so you can kind of see around and it look like it's hands-on. That's ideally what I want to see, like a little hand, like even, you know what it is? At worst case scenario, even if it's not combat, I want to see more of a small glimpse at actual hands-on game. So you can kind of see them using the controller and kind of guiding you through it. So you go, that's gameplay.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see from this now. I trust them with everything, that everything they're showing is going to look beautiful. And I absolutely believe that what they're doing is next level. I've went through every dev diary, all of the previews. I've looked through everything for the finite detail. I know it's going to look fantastic. I just want to see that hands-on moment now where I can see it played.
Me too. I want, even if they keep the combat a secret a little longer, I would understand that. But then show us. There will be riddles. In the game. Show us a riddle.
They could, because we know it's 24 now. They could be saving, and we mentioned this last year when Hellblade didn't show up at the Game Awards. And they've mentioned the Game Awards as being a place they could show something off.
Yeah.
Do we, by December then, get the official release date at the Game Awards?
Oof. That would be cool. And then what would be the official release date? Where would they place it in 24? Early, mid,
well, that's
end?
The thing they've got officially two big ones in Avowed and Hellblade in 24. So for them, it's which one's closest. I think as it stands, Avowed is the closest. I think we'll get the Avowed release date, maybe's Gamecom, maybe somewhere around there.
Ah, interesting. You think Avowed is coming before Hellblade?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
By what we've seen from actual gameplay on Avowed, which is actual gameplay,
yes,
we can see that game is much further along. In terms of that game, looks like it could have almost been ready to drop this year, further along. Hellblade, because we haven't seen like the hands-on physical slashing and running around and like actual in-game moments there. I feel like Avowed's the one that's going to drop probably Q1, and Hellblade could be maybe Q2, Q3. I think Hellblade could be the back end of the year.
Interesting. In my mind, it was vice versa. Avowed is going to be the big, holiday game 24.
I still think they'll have something extra for Holiday 24. I don't think Avowed and Hellblade or what is it?
I wish so, man. I hope so. But we all thought they also have something outside of Starfield and Forza for this year.
Yeah. But and this is what they're stipulating as well. Again, we don't know what's going to drop tomorrow. They could have a big third-party deal for after that.
That could be, yeah. Yeah, I think. See, the thing is, Matt Booty and Phil today, and Phil also when he was at Kinda Funny was very, and Aaron Greenberg anyway, everywhere. Yeah, they seem to be really emphasizing their target of releasing a game every quarter.
Yeah, all of them.
So my thinking was,
but Matt Booty did also stipulate here, and I have to say it. He said a new game every quarter from first party. So it doesn't mean it's going to be AAA.
Yeah.
And he did say that.
True.
He said it. So Towerborn is one of them, which is also coming next year. So we know there's 3. So we've got Towerborn, we've got Avowed, we've got Hellblade. There's 3. There's one more going to be releasing next year from first party. We don't know what that is as yet.
I mean, Amblix in the chat says Flight Sim. He has actually a quite interesting...
Now, Flight Sim, he disregarded that. He did disregard that on the show. He said Flight Sim isn't included within that 4 games a year. That, and they're not including that.
Yeah. The thing...
Because they were asked specifically on it. They literally said, so is Flight Sim one of the ones that's classed as one of your 4? And he said, no, that's not one of the 4.
Yeah. So, yeah. Since they mention it again, or mentioned it so often, I think that 24 is gonna
confident now.
Is now that year where they actually think they can have that. Yeah.
And the one thing we've got as well for a change, and this is what Phil wanted to kind of reiterate about these games.
Yeah.
The Avoweds, the Hellblades, these are all games that started as part of Microsoft. They were in the works when they acquired them. They've had a lot of time to work with these studios to make sure that they have worked alongside them to get the best out of them. And these are the games that they're confident in now. They are absolutely confident in these games. Redfall, and they've mentioned it again on the thing, was something that wasn't supported as they would like to support the studio, and it didn't meet expectations. So they said Redfall was absolutely a different situation. The games that they're showing now with Fable, with Hellblade, with Avowed, etc., with Clockwork, with Midnight, these games are all games that Microsoft have got hands-on with full support from their tech team, which makes sure that they get the best out of the console that they can. So they are confident in these titles in a way that they weren't confident with Redfall. I'm happy still that they're not intentionally giving set dates for 24, because that would put a pressure on them that isn't required. They can work over the next 6 months to firm up a date, and then
be a little bit more flexible. That is true.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Internally, they can go by the end of the year. Right? Are you guys confident on, say, a March release? Yeah, we're absolutely confident. Okay, so we'll say 31st of March. Yeah, everyone happy with that? Right, okay, bump, there's a March release, right? What about a July release for you? Are you confident on a July release? Yeah, okay, right, brilliant. We'll mark that in for a July release. We'll get that sorted. What about you? Are you confident in what date? And then they'll work with them. And again, it gives them a realistic idea as opposed to forcing a date on something. And we mentioned this, and they mentioned the 12-month thing and it not working. That was henpecking themselves into a corner that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Didn't need to be. And that's what they're realizing about release dates as well now. You can give a window, and that's what they want to do. They want to say, right, we're confident in all of these games releasing 24, but we don't want to give an exact time frame. We want to give them enough space to be confident and concrete and nail down a date themselves. Where everything else is outside of that, like a Fable. He mentioned specifically 25 for Fable there as well. They're confident Fable's a 25 game. So, and Clockwork, they've put thankfully on theirs, much like Obsidian did for Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah,
it's coming when it's coming. Essentially,
that's what they did, but
it also looked more advanced.
Yeah, exactly. They've shown a lot more. They've shown gameplay.
And Phil played that last year. Phil played Clockwork last year, so we know it's further along. So I would assume they're going to try and slot in Clockwork either as maybe if it's ready within 24, the 4th game. If not, they're going to slot that in with Fable as a 25.
Yeah, I can see that.
Quite far though. From what we saw on that showcase, Clockwork looked pretty far.
I agree. They were confident enough to show actual gameplay sequences. Yes, and
that was fully in game. Like you could see that was like story and all
everything.
the animations were there.
They explained even a little of the mechanics, like with the time traveling and stuff.
Yes.
When you do that, you have a pretty good idea what the game is going to be. Yeah. So
we just immediately went Bioshock. This is just like next level Bioshock. This, and it was fantastic. They really set the tone for that. I'm super hyped. That was a game I didn't expect, didn't know about, and it is one of my favorites from that showcase, without a doubt.
Yeah, and we knew that In Exile is working on a big RPG, first person.
Yeah.
That's what they confirmed. Unreal Engine 5 first person RPG. We are working on that. That was the tweet basically, and that was, I don't know, 1.5, 2 years ago. Soon after Wasteland 3 came out. So, and then In Exile showed this with that kind of quality. We knew steampunk was a rumor. It's now confirmed, but it's not like your classic steampunk. I like that it's also a little bit more colorful. Art style. It's not like this dark and gritty, what you usually expect from steampunk games.
I was going to say, it's funny because the time travel gives both of those aspects.
Yes.
So the back in time's the dark and the gritty and and everything's broken, and then the futuristics is vibrant, like glowing world with lots of gold everywhere and sparkly and full of color. So I like that they've got these kind of complete black and white scenarios there. They've got both of what In Exile are trying to achieve, which is super hyped for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The dates.
Fantastic.
The dates. The 24 dates. Yeah. But
24 dates. We shall see. I have to think about it, honestly. You put something in my head that Avowed might arrive. Let's talk about this tomorrow. We will see tomorrow Hellblade and Avowed gameplay. I think maybe we can judge after that a little bit better which one might come first. So, yeah.
And it could be that as well, of that Hellblade wanted. And again, it could be the fact that Hellblade's got a little bit of more discussing what it wants to do. And kind of it needs a little bit more of a breakdown with people.
Yeah.
So, like Starfield had its extended showing yesterday, 40-odd minutes of extended showing, which was phenomenal.
Yes.
That's,
by the way, how you introduce a game. That's how you... And they should do that kind of explanation for all their bigger games, you know. I don't know if a Hellblade needs that because it's pretty clear.
It depends on its new mechanics, because we know they've refined the combat.
Yeah.
We know they've refined the audio and stuff like that, but
still, it's gonna be pretty much a linear experience, a third-person over-the-shoulder action. You don't need to have such a deep dive. They could do one maybe a little bit more on the technical side of things, you know. To explain a little bit more.
It depends though, because it's still we know what Hellblade is, but we don't know what the full vision of this next Hellblade is.
I mean, Tamim Antoniadis, the game director and studio head, said that this is going to be significantly different from the first one, and not just in terms of better visuals and better production quality and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I was reading too much into this, but ever since I heard this statement from him, I had maybe it has the Tomb Raider games, also these semi-open world or open areas.
That's what I'm envisioning. And in which case, if they're introducing these open areas, then do you have NPCs that are part of your clan?
Yeah.
Do you have other tribes that you're speaking to? In which case, there is another mechanic entirely that possibly needs explaining.
Yeah. Remember the gameplay demo from the Game Awards, the 8-9 minutes that they've shown? the way how they shot that, along the coast, and then the camera flying over there, Senua is standing way away from that cave, with her tribe and everything, and then they fly with the camera, bam, into the cave, and suddenly Senua is in the cave. I got, and maybe it's just me reading things into this, but hearing how Tamim explained the game, and then looking at how they put together and edited together the trailer, it was like, okay, maybe this coast area, the village with your clan or whatever, is like more or less an open area, and then you go into this cave over there to have the story mission, because they had, I wouldn't say non-linear progression in the first one, but remember at the very beginning, for instance, you had to kill these two guys. And it was up to you which one you do first, for instance. And so it's not that Hellblade is completely non-linear progression agnostic, or whatever you want to call it. It's, they have those mechanics, and what if they have these kind of areas? I don't expect RPG mechanics, skill points, or something like that to be in that game. But why not? Why not have these semi-open areas in certain parts of the game? So if they have those kind of things, definitely developer direct doesn't have to be 40 minutes, can be 20 minutes. But do like a proper explanation of the game. This does so much for the mind share of media. Because that's also, like, when you have these games, you have to kind of think in how do you give your review codes to media sites. You have to think about, as a publisher, you have to think about these kind of things in this day and age. Yeah? If you send them the Starfield copy completely blind, this is not going to go well. Because, the dumbass media reviewers out there that are not gamers, they will just pick the game up and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. This is shit. Of course, there are good influencers out there. There are good journalists still out there, like at Jess Corden or whatnot. But you have to think and now they have explained Starfield. Everyone knows exactly what to do with the game when they get the review codes in a couple of months.
I would imagine they're going to have to give them a little bit more of a heads up. You need at least a month with a review code.
Fair point.
At least.
Yeah.
That's not a game they're going to be able to give them a week in advance. That's a game they're going to have a month in advance.
For sure. Absolutely, for sure. No doubt. I have no doubt. Developer directs, do them on Avowed, do them on a Fable, do them on Perfect Dark, do them on a State of Decay 3. I love those kind of presentations, like they did it with Starfield. It did so much for me. And it really.
That's another thing. We could, the Dev Direct. That's a good point, actually. The Dev Direct could be the time where we get a release date and a deeper dive into both of those titles, because they are releasing 24. So it's a good point.
Yeah,
it's either that or the Game Awards, I think, for Hellblade.
And with Matt teasing another show, hey, why not?
Yeah,
and Hellblade at the Game Awards is probably awesome. Yeah, they revealed the game there. And now they gonna, new gameplay trailer, release date, February 24. I know I'm being too optimistic, but Pyromat sends in a channel member chat for being a channel member for 6 months. Man, thank you so much for the support, for the continued support. And he says, hey everyone, hope you're well, Boxenberger and Dutch. Indeed we are. It's game show season. Yeah, we are doing fantastic. Busy times, but fantastic times. Honestly, it's the future of Xbox, and not just Xbox, but gaming in general is so exciting. When you think about all the games that we are playing right now, with Diablo being an absolute amazing piece of software. Yeah. And everything else that is going to come over the course of this year, next year, we like Pong Soul always says, it's truly the golden age of gaming. So yes, Pyro, we are doing well, and I do hope you too.
Here's a quick snippet for you as well for Xbox after the event yesterday. So on Amazon in France, sales of the Xbox Series X went up 1,355%.
Is that like our growth on Amazon Prime Music, where we have like
it went from 5 people to 50 people?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah. So yeah, it's a massive increase. But I would imagine after seeing Starfield, a lot of people are going to be wanting.
I agree.
In on that.
Starfield and Diablo, dude. Like, good friend of mine. Yeah, super casual gamer. Yeah. We used to play Diablo 3 back on the 360. Diablo 3 came out on the 360. Couch co-op together. He wasn't really a gamer. He had a PS3 at the time for a FIFA every other year, and that's about it. And he was like coming to me, and he's, dude, I've seen Xbox has now Diablo on there. I need to buy an Xbox now, and he's gonna get an Xbox now. I think these big games, Diablo, of course, and then Starfield, definitely a system seller.
Putting the quote in here from a French media site as well.
All right.
I'll just put it in the private chat here. 2 seconds.
Okay. No problem. So yeah, I don't know if so. The quote is, Starfield, the system seller, it seems that the presentation held last night convinced many people to make the purchase, not for the new Xbox Series S, but for the Xbox Series X, which climbed to the top of Amazon sales by taking first place with an increase of 1,335%, just that. An increase that is easily explained by the games shown during the showcase, starting with Starfield, which comes out in a few weeks and which made a strong impression. No doubt Bethesda game should boost Xbox Series console sales at the end of the year, not to mention Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Starfield is probably the first real true system seller this gen. I know we had Forza Horizon 5 and Halo. I'm not sure if Halo is that system seller anymore. It's more like, okay, that's the time when the already Xbox fans jump back into the Xbox. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It's still massive, Halo, no doubt. But Starfield, yeah, I've no doubt this is gonna move consoles. This is gonna move subscriptions.
Yeah.
And it's already happening. So, by the way, Phil Spencer in the interview fired also direct shot at Sony. He says, we don't think it's healthy to make money by keeping competition small. We are in this for growing the industry, and I think it was like and then he continued on, like he's not in there to like others in the industry by trying to keep others small. He sees, and this is why Microsoft is in this so hard with a $70 billion investment, because they see the gaming industry as a growing market. Yeah. And that's why they are willing to invest that much money into it. I thought it was interesting. This was really like a direct shot at Sony. Did you catch up on that?
Yeah. There was a few comments in there that were tiny little digs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they asked him the same thing about Game Pass once again. He's like, it's profitable, as is Xbox, which is profitable. And people keep saying that we're going to disappear, and he's like, that's not the case. We are profitable. Xbox and Game Pass is profitable. We're spending $70 billion on an acquisition. We're fine.
We're fine. We're fine. He also talked about being the PC being the biggest growth in Game Pass for them.
Yeah,
that's where they grow naturally, obviously, and for the sole reason because you don't have to sell them hardware, to get the subscription.
I'm glad. You know what it is? I'm glad to see that in France, Europe specifically is a really tough ask for Xbox.
Yeah,
because people think it's a big one, but Germany, Netherlands, Xbox is way behind.
Yes,
way behind.
Absolutely.
France is exactly the same. France, Italy, Spain, it's way behind. It's mainly
Portugal.
PlayStation guys. Mainly PlayStation.
Sweden, Norway, everywhere. Yeah.
But for them to see that amount of console sales increase just on Amazon alone, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for them. It means that Starfield is the big hitter they want it to be.
Yeah, I agree. It will be really interesting to see, because obviously Sony has Spider-Man this holiday season, which is also, of course, gonna attract a lot of people. But yeah, with Starfield and even with Forza, although I still don't think that Forza is gonna be the biggest system seller, it will definitely put is like the cherry on top of the cake, you know. It's gonna be very interesting, and if they play their cards right with what they've shown at this showcase, Avowed, Hellblade, Fable, and really bank on that and make people excited for that, get the advertisement rolling with the new Star Wars game from Ubisoft, which looks phenomenal. Things could go in favor of Xbox. They won't catch up to Sony here in Europe, but they will definitely shorten the gap. That's for sure. So what else was in that interview? I think we pretty much covered it. You did mention the IT Tech project.
Yeah. He whispered it.
He whispered it, exactly.
It. So he's super hyped about that. So are we.
Yeah.
I want to know what he's working on.
Also funny, Phil said, seeing Capcom on stage announcing new IP, I have to look at Square and say, come on. This is and then he said, well, I have to probably take a flight, go over there again. What did you make of this?
Yeah, he does, because Square are just weird.
Yes.
Weird. He needs to get that ironed out, and he needs to get these long-awaited IPs back on Xbox, because if others like Sega and like Capcom and all of those are over the moon about their stuff about on Xbox right now, to the point where they're unveiling new IPs on Xbox.
Yeah. And not just any IPs. I mean, this is like the Onimusha everyone wanted, Path of the Goddess. Yeah.
And the new one, the new game as well that was unveiled by the Persona creators. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the creators of Persona unveiling a new IP on Xbox is a big deal. And as it stands right now, the website still shows only Xbox and PC. So if that ends up being exclusive, that's massive. Even if not exclusive, that's a big get.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if not with the Game Pass, I think it's fair to say that Xbox is the place to play Atlas games, right?
Yeah. I'm checking now. They haven't updated it. It's still only showing on Atlas's website. It's still only showing Series X, S, and Windows. That's it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Absolutely not my games. Not a fan of these animes, art style type of Japanese RPGs. I like Japanese RPGs when they are more like, of course, Final Fantasies. I've
got another update from Benji Sales right now about Diablo, by the way.
Go ahead.
Diablo, this is so coincidental. Diablo 4 has generated 666 million in revenue in its first 5 days.
Jesus.
666. How is it managing to get the number of the devil in revenue in?
There you go. Boy,
you couldn't write it.
Those are numbers. Can you imagine making the entire money it costs to make the game back, including marketing and everything, in 5 days? Yep. And from here on out, it's revenue stream or earnings stream. It's crazy. That's really, but well deserved. The game is incredible. So good. By the way, if anyone wants to join our Diablo clan, let's advertise it real quick. Hit us up. The World of Mix-Up. Well, not the world, just World of Mix-Up is the name.
Yeah.
You're welcome to join. We have a fantastic community, so join us. In the Diablo 4 clan, we do more casual gaming. You know, we are not in there for PvP or anything, but to have fun, grinding, getting loot. Testing out different builds, testing out different combinations, man. I feel already withdrawal. I have not played Diablo today.
Oh, I know. Neither. I haven't played Diablo in days because of doing stuff for this. I literally haven't played games.
My son, even though the holidays are over in Germany, the school of my son decided to make a extra day off, so he had no school today, so I took them to the swimming pool, you know, the public pool in our city, which is gigantic area, like, you know, we have tons of water slides and everything, and that's why I'm a little red in my face, so I got a little burned by the sun, but so I did that this afternoon, and this morning I was like busy capturing trailers, catching up on everything, and it's like, I haven't had time to play games today, man. Not that I'm complaining, because we do this.
A lot of info to take in, a lot of work to go through, a lot of
and we can also maybe tease a little. Of course, with new trailers, there comes new stuff we can edit, and so we're gonna make a complete new starting soon waiting screen for the show and a complete new intro, and it's you've seen it already, at least what we have so far. It's vastly different from what we have now.
Hopefully. I am ditching Redfall out of mine immediately.
Redfall is not going to be in there. Promise you. And we remove the CGIs, so that's all we say. But it's gonna be a good one. So where were we? Scarlet Nexus, Final Fantasy, those kind of games, you know, those kind of Octopath Traveler. I love that. Those kind of Japanese RPGs are my jam. It's not the Personas. That does not mean that I do not hope that everyone is enjoying it, because a lot of people seem to like these games. And that's the beauty about this entire showcase. There was something in there for everyone. Yeah.
Yep.
No matter what kind of games you like, there was something in there for you. And Xbox is the place now to play Atlas games, if you're into them. So, good stuff. Dutch, I think we pretty much covered the big Matt Booty, Phil Spencer interview.
Yes. Yep.
For the most part, fantastic interview. Highly recommend to check it out. Up on YouTube, Giant Bomb. Jeff Grubb did really a good job hosting this. So highly recommend to check it out if you're up for it. It's about an hour long, or 45 minutes or something. Yeah. And definitely worth checking out. So, Dutch, before we close today's show, we need to know, what can we expect tomorrow from the extended showcase? We know already Hellblade gameplay, Avowed gameplay. We also know from Hargeet, confirmed, that there will be announcements, things we have not seen. What do you expect?
Expect more second and third party stuff. We could see Contraband. We could
Interesting.
We could see that. That's a second party IP. It is first party, but it's technically not. It's Xbox game. It's like a Asobo basically with Flight Sim. Classed as first party, but not really, because that's an Asobo game with Xbox Game Studios helping them. As is the Avalanche Contraband, published by Xbox Game Studios. So we could see Contraband. Aside from that, I don't think we'll see any additional first parties, but we'll definitely see the Game Pass titles that people were expecting for kind of this year. Some new second party kind of unveilings, third party unveilings, and of course our lovely deep dives into Avowed and Hellblade, which I'm super hyped for.
Yeah, me too. Pyromed asks Hellblade combat. We sure hope. Sure hope. But I also want to see more of Avowed. Really, like, I hope they show a little bit about their skill system and RPG mechanic, because that's where Obsidian games excel. Obsidian never excelled in like visual fidelity. They don't make the graphic showcases. They just don't. And seeing Avowed running here right now in parallel again, or it's not really the full trailer, it's just the sizzle reel thing from Phil Spencer. But it is, it's not the visually most impressive game. Outer Worlds hasn't been either. Fallout New Vegas hasn't been either. But those were really, 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 really good RPGs. The storytelling, the impact of your choices, and they also mentioned that in the Avowed trailer that we've already seen. Your choices are going to matter, and that's where Obsidian excels. If you look at Outer Worlds, you seriously had the feeling your choices make an impact, and it didn't even necessarily mean that you noticed your impact immediately. It could be like 5 hours, 10 hours later, suddenly you realize, shit, all the way back I made this and that decision, and because of that this happens. They also confirmed, by the way, on Xbox Wire that there will be companions in Avowed. You will have also companions. And I cannot wait to see more on their RPG system, on how because that's also something where they are really good in. Obsidian makes fantastic RPG mechanics. Really looking forward to that. But of course, Hellblade. Sure, absolutely. Want to see gameplay? I wanted to say combat. I wouldn't expect big announcements. There will be maybe, the Wu-Tang Clan themed game. I don't know what happened to that. That was rumored. Something like that. Some of the project names that Jez Corden has leaked, basically. We could see some of those. Be there tomorrow. I wouldn't expect like a major new announcement. I can also tell you what is not there. That is Stalker 2. I know a lot of people were anticipating that, but the developers have came out and said, well, they want to save the resources to do things on the game and prepare themselves for announcements a little later this year. I would assume we will get a couple of updates of maybe that, what was it called? Project Belfry. For me, it's still Project Belfry, and I have to, what was the name? Towerborn. Exactly. Maybe we get an update there. I also
we had a little bit of gameplay yesterday, but not too much. It wasn't really that in-depth.
So I don't think we will see more from In Exile. Maybe a little bit of what could be shown? Some indies, maybe Sea of Thieves, maybe Flight Sim, maybe. I honestly, with the announcement alone of Avowed and Hellblade, I'm super excited already for tomorrow. And everything else is just icing on the cake, and I cannot wait.
Tell me more, show me more, inject it into my veins.
And honestly, if I look at the past couple of years, I have to say people.
I was pleasantly surprised last year with the extended.
Yeah, always. They've done it twice now, and it was 2 times. I was super pleasantly surprised because, yes, it's an extended showcase. I don't expect them to reveal Fable gameplay there out of nowhere. That's what they did in this show. This show is to explain a couple of more things. What was that game from Squanch?
High on Life.
High on Life, thank you. I thought last year they showed High on Life in the main showcase for the very first time, and I thought it didn't show well. And after the developers explained it a little bit better on the extended showcase.
Really well on the extended.
Yes. Yeah. And suddenly I was like, yo, guys, I'm really looking forward to this. Remember Stalker 2 was in the extended showcase last year. Very strong impression. Fantastic. Looked fantastic, and also with the war thing, and it was like we were all like, wow, what a statement. So they have meaningful things to tell in the extended showcase, and
it could be that we see more. I don't know whether or not they're going to see maybe Richard Ayoade coming on, because they mentioned there's going to be a celebrity there. Is it going to be Richard Ayoade talking about Fable and his part in Fable? Or is it going to be Keanu or Idris talking about Cyberpunk? Because is there going to be a celeb there? Those are 3 celebrities: Idris, Keanu, and Richard Ayoade from Fable, and obviously British comedian and actor.
Of course,
one of those is going to be there.
But no one outside of the UK knows him, right?
No, they know his voice. They will know his voice because he's been in loads of Disney films, but they won't know his face until they saw Fable, and now they know his face.
And suddenly that's the guy from Fable, right?
It's the guy from Fable. So for gamers, it's the guy from Fable. For the people in the UK, he's a household name. So so no, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but it's going to be fun. Last year it was great. The year before it was great. So I'm looking forward to it. A little bit more of a chilled stream, but it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to join us, we're gonna do a live reaction on your channel to stream it along. And of course, after the show, we will be here live again to discuss, of course, the extended showcase along with Kay Asante and Luke Steele. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we will also wrap the entire showcase season up because, guys, with that extended showcase season is going to end. And so we go live after the extended showcase one more time to wrap everything up and give our final thoughts. And we hope to see you guys again here in the chat. Or if you give us a listen after the fact, also, we super appreciate that. Where and whenever you listen. Thank you so much, guys. On your way out, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're new to the program, of course, subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. But Dutch, anything you want to say to close out the show?
No, I think that's everything. Obviously, tomorrow we do the live reaction to the extended showcase. And then we go straight over again, as we did today, redirect everyone straight over to this awesome show for the post show with some great guests, and then finally on Wednesday the entire crew come together and discuss pretty much a breakdown of the best and the worst from the showcases over the last week. So a lot to cover, and it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Man, at the end of this week, we're going to be so exhausted. But it's fun. It's the good kind of exhausted. So, again, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned in here today, live or after the fact. Shout out to you guys. We appreciate all the support you throw in our way. not just for the super chats, but simply for being here, being an awesome community, being a positive community, talking about the passion that we all share, that is gaming. So thank you, guys. And we hopefully see you tomorrow on another episode of the World of Gaming. So don't forget to game on.